Today I'm working on a 2004 Ford F-150 4x4, and most of the stuff I've been trying to do I don't see any videos on, so I'm going to do a video on what I got to do. Customer is complaining that his left front axle was flopping around. In fact, it was. The stubby axle had come out of the differential and was just flopping around and has done all kinds of damage. I've already removed all the stuff from the left side, and I'll show you. Here's all the parts, and there's how it looks so far. I got to break down the other side, so I'll show you what I did while I'm doing the other side. Alright, obviously you have to take the tire off first. I don't normally work under the carport where I'm at right now, but my garage is slammed full of stuff. So, made this out of some PVC conduit so I wouldn't scratch rims and stuff. And obviously the first thing you do is take the tire off. While I'm waiting, in the center here is a funny looking cap. You take a pair of channel locks and just wiggle it off. Unlike somebody else that dented this one all to pieces. Then there's a 13mm nut right there. I'm leaving the nut on so I can tap on it to knock the axle through. Kind of funny, some of the lug nuts on the other side were like hand tight. I can still hear my compressor running way back in the back of my shop. I'm going to pause this and go get my air tool oil and oil up my gun. Alright, here we go. Hopefully this will do the trick now. Obviously somebody torqued these to the correct specifications when they got done. I'm going to go ahead and pause this and figure out how I'm going to break this thing loose. Got my other air gun, which I thought was the weaker of the two, but just found out I was wrong. Alright, I want to turn the wheels so I can get at the brakes easier. Back when I was younger, I'd have just grabbed it and turned it by hand, but nowadays it doesn't work as well. So, I am going to try and relieve some pressure off these brake pads by pushing the caliper in with a pry bar, little pry bar. And they look okay now. Oh, I forgot one tool I needed. Alright. Goodness gracious. I don't really know what's going on here with this here Ford. But when you let this all the way down like this, the upper control arm is hitting the coil of the spring. Never seen that happen before. Story behind this truck is a guy ran over a stump and it broke his housing on this side, so he replaced it. He owns a lawn cutting service. From what I've seen, I think you better stick to cutting grass, because this didn't go real well for him. Just gently pry this caliper right on out of the way. Kind of like the other side was. I'll try and give myself a little bit more space here. Much better. I do not like these old Bakelite pistons. I just don't. They always seem to lock up. So you get the brake pads out of the way. And I believe this is an 18 millimeter. Yep. And it's not budging. And that one just was spinning free. Alright. I reckon it's broke loose now. My ultimate goal here is really to remove the steering so that I can pull the front cover off of the differential and see how much damage he actually did to it. These are the hub bolts. And we're going to take another pause here because I got to go get something to hang this caliper. I do not let them hang by the brake lines. I feel like that is a big, bad no-no. Alright, I'm up underneath this truck, and I have determined that the rack and pinion has to come out to get the front differential out. So, first thing is this little plastic cover has to come out, and I found one bolt and it looks like it's a 10mm head, and I'm gonna have to put the camera down and everything and try and find the bolts because it is so greasy and grimy up in here that you can't see nothing. Alright, now right there I had to take the two bolts out, and they are those little deals right over there. There you go. Got that on both sides. Alright, up there. It's where the steering shaft goes onto the rack and pinion. And then right here is where the hoses fit on. I got to try and pop that out so I can get the hoses out. And then I can take the rack and pinion out. Here we go. So, I popped that off. There was a 10mm head bolt in there. And then I just took a pry bar and tapped on it until the lines came out. Now I'm letting the fluid run all out. So then I'll pull the rack and pinion out. Alright, I think I got you aimed up where I'm going to be working. So come on down here and check it out. I'll pull these bolts that are in here out of the cover. But there's no oil in here at all. None. So, as you can imagine, my feelings right now is I got some really serious problems here. So, lovely. Oh my. I can't even imagine what did that. And look at that. Can you see that? Look at that. That's what came out of the bottom of this differential. But it's bouncing all around. Alright. Well, got one axle out. I reckon I'll take the other one out. I wouldn't normally do this, but I don't really care. I wonder what size these bad boys are. They look like 18s to me. This is not really the way to do this, but I'm going to do it this way anyhow. Again, because I don't think it matters at this point. This differential is so shot. Uh-oh. I mean, look, I can move the whole differential around. It's just absolutely destroyed. And 18 doesn't fit. What did they do? Decide to go American here? If they did, I'll assume 3/4, and this 19 ought to fit on there nicely. There you go. It's going to take more than what that's got, I guess. There too. Alright. There we go. I don't reckon I need the drain pan since there ain't no oil in it. You know, it might help a little bit if I went the right way, trying to break these loose. Sorry, I get all twisted around when I'm upside down. Goodness gracious, that one don't want to come loose. I'm going to need a helper on that one. And that one. Ain't it weird how that one just popped right out? There we go. Let's see if I can do that with any of these other ones. About to knock the camera and all down. Oh yeah. I put the brute force on her. Now I'm really about to knock the camera down. There you went. Nope, almost. How about I just move you over a little bit for a second? There you go. Alright. All broke loose now. Let's see if I can get you back over here. Alright. Take out these 3 remaining bolts. And I should be able to slide the carrier assembly right on out of there. I like to try and keep everything together, especially on something like this. These things are incredibly precise, actually. We got a shim just falling out. That's not normal. Alright. Oh my. Okay. One carrier assembly. Oh, okay. Well, the carrier assembly, part of the carrier assembly. Let me get the rest of the carrier assembly. Oh, there is none. There is no carrier assembly to get out. The bearing is actually not here. How crazy is this? Well, there ain't no rebuilding this one. Alright, here we are in front of my shop, which is as close as I can get till I get some stuff out of there. And here's the carrier. What we got is a bearing blown apart for the right side, and for the driver's side, which we had a problem, there is no bearing. There is no place to put a bearing. The only thing that came out of it was that. There we go. Maybe I'll learn how to use a camera. Anyway, or better yet, maybe I can get a camera person. Ring gear, totally shot. Eaten right up. Everything just gone. So, now I get to contact the customer and let them know. And we'll see what happens. Weird part I saw was big old chunks missing, or indentions into the carrier assembly. That's crazy right there. Alright, here I go to make that horrible phone call to the customer. Really hate doing this. Alright, so I talked to the customer, and he decided the best thing to do was to change this truck into 2-wheel drive and not worry about the 4-wheel drive. So I'm fixing to come underneath the truck, and I'm going to remove a bunch of stuff. I'm going to disassemble the CV joints and stick the outer CV joint in to hold the hub in place and make everything work okay. And I'm going to try and carry you along with me on this, but I don't know. We'll see. Alright, I'm not going to be able to hold the camera and do this, and I've got no way to set it up, so I'm just going to tell you, I'm going to take the drive shaft out right now. I got that to do. And then the one on the transfer case. And then I'm going to start taking this differential out and just get it out of the way. And I'll get back to you when I'm going to do that. Okay. When I left off, I told you I was going to pull the front drive shaft out and then show you how I was going to take the front differential out. Well, all that changed. I actually had to use a breaker bar to break all 8 of the bolts loose on the drive shaft, both on the front and where it goes into the transfer case. So I ended up just pulling the differential out, and I'll show you where all the bolts and everything go. I'm going to climb up under here, and I got a few things I want to show you up under this truck. Alright, here we are. Welcome to my nightmare. I have seen a lot of nasty engines and engine compartments and all in my life. I have never seen anything like this. Worst part is, one of the locals supposedly rebuilt this engine, took the engine out and rebuilt it, and it's been leaking oil ever since. I went to tighten down the oil pan bolts, and they were already way over tight, so obviously I didn't do that. Right now I'm draining the oil out because I'm going to take this cross member out and pull the oil pan down and clean the oil pan out and try and repair some missing bolts. I don't know whether they're broken off in the block or what it is, but I do know that the oil drain plug was stripped out completely. Wasn't doing anything but sitting in the hole, so there's an oil leak. But I'm going to take the oil filter off right there, and I'm going to replace this oil filter adapter gasket because it looks like it's leaking, to me anyway. Right around there is where it's coming down. One thing I want to show you in case I forget later is right there on the where that goes into the steering rack and pinion. I had to knock it off with a hammer, so I'm going to take something and right where you see that split in it, I'm going to spread that out a little bit so when I go to put the rack and pinion back in, it slides right down there and doesn't give me a problem. So anyway, right there is one of the mounts for the front differential. It is I believe that one was an 18mm head bolt. Let's see, where is the other one? Well, that one right there is for the right axle extension, and let's see, right over here again, just absolutely filthy everywhere. Those are the only 3. There's 3 bolts that hold the differential in. So anyway, I'm going to continue on, get this cross member out, take some stuff back and do some pressure washing, and my gosh, I still just can't believe all inside this engine bay is like this. I'm hoping that once I get the engine back together, I'm going to be able to take it and lift it up high and go under here with a pressure washer and try and clean this up. I do have one other thing I want to mention. Customer just put a starter on here, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to put the light anywhere. Oh yeah, about right there. There's so much grease the magnet won't even catch. maybe it'll stay. Maybe it won't. Alright, anyway, I'll try and hold the light and the camera with one hand. Here's the positive end from the battery right here. Sorry about that. I hit the zoom button holding the camera funny like I am. Anyway, I reckon you can see it's just moving all around. What he did is he just tightened the cable up against the nut, but didn't tighten the nut to the solenoid. So I'm going to fix that while I'm under here too. Anyway, I'm going to get to it. If I can bring you under here and show you some stuff while I'm working on it, I will. But I really don't even want my camera under here, to be quite honest. Anyway, I'll get back to you. Alright, so here we are. I got the oil pan off, and I found something really, really interesting. And I'll try and show it to y'all. The back of the oil pan is actually bent way, way down. And that was where the missing bolt was. So, gee, I wonder if the oil pan was leaking at all. The old gasket was broken up front. Don't know what to say. It's what happens when you work behind other people, I guess. So, the other thing is, hang on, I'll show you. I think I told y'all I was going to replace the oil filter adapter gasket. Alright, there it is right there, right? Oil filter adapter. Already taken the oil filter off. And I look closely, and this radiator hose and another coolant hose hooks into the actual oil filter adapter. So I've had to drain the coolant system, and now I got to take these hoses off and get them out of my way so I can change this oil filter adapter gasket. So I'm not really sure how many bolts there are or anything. Kind of hard to say at this point because I can't even see them up here. But I'll take all this stuff out of the way and then get right back to you and show you what I'm doing. Alright, so here we are again. Oil filter adapter and coolant adapter is all put back. Oil pressure sending unit wire fixed. Where the oil pan was bent. Couldn't get a bolt in the hole. There wasn't a bolt broken off. There wasn't any problem other than evidently the first thread was messed up. So I tapped it out real quick and cleaned it up and worked fine. I have fixed the battery connection. It's no longer loose. That's good to go. And I'm up here cleaning around, trying to get the stuff ready to put the oil pan gasket on. And I look up here. If I'm not mistaken, and let me see if I can't zoom in here a little bit. That might be a little bit too much. Okay, how about right there? Looking up in here, it looks to me like I see the rear main seal sitting up against the last main bearing cap and not in this aluminum holder where it's supposed to be. So I'm going to see if I can work that back in real quick and I'll get back to you. Alright, sorry I couldn't be bringing you guys along with me to show you, but I put the oil pan on because that was not the rear main seal. It was metallic, whatever it was, so I'm assuming it's where the rear main goes. Alright, oil pan's on. I put some sealer a little bit here, a little bit there where the timing cover meets the block, and I also put a little bit back here and a little bit over there so that it would seal right where the rear main seal holder goes. And then since this corner all over here was all bent down and I straightened it the best I could, I packed some sealer between the gasket and the oil pan, and that's the only places I use sealer on this part so far. And I think, like I said before, around here I put sealer around the water jacket because the aluminum was uneven from corrosion. So I just dabbed a little sealer on that. Other than that, I didn't use any sealer. So now, and I swear I saw somebody with one of the channels I watch had a magnetic tripod and it hooked right on underneath the car so that y'all could follow along with me. So I'm going to try and get one of those as quick as possible. Just want you to know, I put this long screwdriver in here to hold the wires and the transmission cooler lines. I believe that's what they are. Yeah. I put that in there to keep those out of the way while I did the bolts. Can't think of anything else to tell you at this point. I'm going to finish up a few things under here. I got wires and stuff I got to connect. And then I'm going to get back on doing, I got to put this cross member on that goes from here to there. Big deal, 4 bolts. Anyway, then we'll get back to what I was originally supposed to be doing to the truck. And I'll put the rack and pinion back in, and then in a little while I'll be showing you how to disassemble a CV joint, which you younger fellas probably don't know anything about disassembling a CV joint, because that's just not something you do anymore. When front wheel drive first came out, like with the 81 or 80 Citation, Chevrolet Citation, that was really the first time I'm messing with CV boots and CV joints. But I used to replace the boots or the joints, not the whole shaft. This will about do it for part 1. Thanks for watching. Please hit the like and subscribe and the notification bell. And I'll be back with part 2 soon.